A new federal directive targets undocumented children and their families by denying them access to the early childhood education program known as Head Start. Arizona Horizon reporter Roxanne De La Rosa has more.
The implementation of the statute targets those most vulnerable at the end of the day. It really does. And when you think about who Head Start serves, it's those most vulnerable, those most youngest in our country.
That's the president of the Arizona Head Start Association, Eve Del Real, sharing her thoughts on the recent Trump administration's directive to only allow U.S. citizen children to be a part of the program.
As we know, SNAP benefits have been reduced, so have other health benefits. Head Start fills the gap in so many different ways because we have integrated services.
Head Start offers more than just early education. It helps low-income families find stable housing and other vital resources, focusing on keeping and uplifting families out of poverty. Susana Peña is a Head Start teacher at Educare, which participates in research and development in early education. Before becoming a teacher, Peña says she was a single mother at one point. But at the time, she had no idea Head Start existed. She says taking part in a Head Start program, knowing her children were in a safe learning environment, would have been life-changing for her. And due to Trump's recent immigration policies, she sees worried parents scared to even enter her classroom to drop off their children at school. She describes how it's affected one of her students.
They can feel their parents' fear, so it kind of, impacted him, and probably through his day, maybe we say the kids don't understand what we're saying sometimes, but kids do understand, kids hear, and they know.
Parents of children enrolled in Head Start range from essential frontline workers to full-time students who contribute to the state's economy and to the community as a whole.
Taking that layer away from a family during this time could be detrimental. I know we talk a lot about that it creates uncertainty, but what it does is that it creates instability that will have a generational impact.
Program leaders feel there's a misconception that Head Start is just free childcare, and they want to make it clear that
yes, Head Start is for the children, for the family, for the community. Head Start is more than Head Start. It's family.
Roxanne De La Rosa reporting for Arizona Horizon in partnership with Report for America.
More than 17,000 children are enrolled in Head Start across Arizona. Researchers say children who receive early childhood education are less likely to break the law and are even likely to live longer. To dive deeper into the subject, we're joined by Eve Del Real. She's president of the Arizona Head Start Association. Thank you so much for coming in. The Trump administration's directive, what would that do to Head Start?
It would just derail a lot of the foundational work that we've done. We understand that there's a concern with the legal status of our participants, but the challenge with it is that the guidance that is currently released is very ambiguous, and it makes it challenging for us to understand who would be determined eligible as a participant of the program.
So Arizona's Attorney General Kris Mayes joined some other states in suing, and right now it's on pause. And part of the lawsuit argues that this new directive was kind of dumped on you without any tools in place to do whatever you would need to do, I guess, to check immigration status. Like, where are you? And is that an accurate description?
Yes, actually. So it is suspended until September 10th, from what we understand. And we're very grateful for the support that we received from the Attorney General. And what it essentially will do is that hopefully there'll be some additional guidance as to who's determined eligible, and again, create some streamlined approaches to understanding how we can move forward. It does create a pretty significant administrative burden for a Head Start grantee.
And when you say administrative burden, what does that mean? Like, if you were forced to comply with this, in the next week or so, what would that mean? Like, what does that look like?
The whole process itself is challenging to understand, starting with who's determined eligible. It's unclear if we're determining the legal status of the parent, of the child, members of the household. There's so many different ways that we can work through eligibility determination, again, depending on who's considered eligible as a participant in the program.
It is on pause as this lawsuit sort of works its way through the courts, or at least temporarily on pause. How are you operating right now?
We're moving forward. We're still providing high quality services to all income eligible children and families throughout the state. But we understand that it also undermines the confidence in the program out of the fear that some families with mixed status might have. And again, we're willing to comply as long as we understand what is required as a Head Start program.
You've mentioned that some families are fearful, that you've seen some absences increase. What are you hearing from people?
Just a basic concern for the safety of their children, their family, or extended family members. And again, we understand, but historically, Head Start has served as a safe space for all children and families, which we care to preserve.
Beyond education, there's a lot of other things that Head Start offers in terms of support for the entire family. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. So Head Start's recognized as a national model not only of early education, but comprehensive services. We provide mental health and nutrition services to families and to children, and then these vital connections to social service programs that help the family move through this vulnerable period in their life. These connections to even workforce development we know are vital to breaking that generational cycle of poverty.
How do you know you're making a difference? What do you see? What do you hear? Do you have data?
We have tons of data. We have 60 years worth of evidence and research that demonstrate that Head Start does make a difference in a family's life.
So someone might hear this and think, well, what is wrong with checking the immigration status? Because, I mean, I don't know, does Head Start have a waiting list?
Oh, yes, we do. I mean, nationally, we serve 700,000 children, and here in Arizona, as you had stated earlier, 17,000. So there's a huge need out in the community for early education and for this level of care, even more so, especially in rural areas.
So Eve, someone might hear that if there's a wait list and say, well, then what's wrong with checking immigration status? Because if we have a wait list of families who are documented, why not let them into the program before those who are not?
I think it's important to remember that because we start the process without checking legal status, us moving forward and doing so is something that we're willing to comply, as long as we understand what those parameters are.
Looking ahead, what are you hoping, I guess, will be the outcome? Do you not want this at all, or do you think there's a middle ground, or what?
I think there's a middle ground, but I think what's most important is that we understand that all families need support. We'll move forward with complying as needed, but we want to ensure that families don't lose the faith in the program, and that families who may be eligible move forward with seeking our support. It's just concerning that maybe families are fearful of the service now because of this and might just determine not to participate in it.
So what would you say to those parents and those families who are maybe unsure whether they should continue to participate or even look into it?
I would say that they should still connect with their local Head Start program. It's a great opportunity for their child to move forward, to build this capacity that we know is demonstrated through evidence and through research, that they're going to excel. It's a beautiful gift that you can give your child, and we want to ensure that families know we're still there to serve.
Eve Del Real, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it, and I suspect we may hear some more from you pretty soon. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.